Hello, Mike Kako. I hope you and your ohana are safe and well. My name is Senator Mike Gabbard, and I'm running for re-election to the Hawaii State Senate in District 21, which includes Kapolei, Makakilo, Fernandez Village in ʻEwa, Honokaihale, and Campbell Industrial Park. Why am I running for re-election? In short, because I love helping the people of West Oʻahu and other folks statewide, who I've been privileged to serve since 2002 on the Honolulu City Council and since 2006 in the State Senate. For the past 18 years, I've loved serving and representing you, the people of West Oʻahu. To me, being an elected official isn't about power and prestige and, hey, look at me, I'm cool, I'm a senator. It's quite simply about helping people, making things happen to improve people's lives. It's a hard job, quite frankly, and one that my staff and I take very seriously. Over the years, I've been able to help complete many projects since 2006. And here's a small sampling. In 2010, we opened up the Ronald T.Y. Moon Judiciary Complex and Kolaka'i Parkway, aka the North-South Road. In 2012, we opened UH West Oʻahu, which actually got its first appropriation from the legislature in 1966. You talk about the wheels of government turning slowly, and it's now the pride and joy of our growing community. In 2015, Ho'okele Elementary School opened up. In 2016, the Kalaeloa Professional Center began. In 2019, Dreamhouse Charter School opened its doors. In 2019, also, the Resident Inn Marriott opened so that people don't need to stay in Waikiki when they come to visit. And in 2020, Honouliuli Middle School opened up, and the Kapolei Interchange Phase 2 began, while Phase 3 started in 2021. While I'm proud of the work we've accomplished over the past 16 years, there's still a lot more to be done. I plan to build on my record to effect positive change by introducing legislation to address a number of key issues. I'll continue to collaborate with the Kapolei Chamber of Commerce and other groups to help business revitalization, advocate, and support policies to increase jobs and build a dynamic economy. With 3 new schools coming online in the area, I'll continue partnering with teachers, the DOE, and UH West Oʻahu to introduce meaningful education-related legislation in our district. Infrastructure like roads and broadband and power, etc., will also be a focus of mine. I'll also continue working with environmental groups statewide to make sure that we keep paradise paradise. I'm committed to serving the residents of District 21, and I'm excited about the blossoming of our so-called second city. And finally, in representing West Oʻahu residents in the Senate, I'm your voice in the legislature, and I take that responsibility very seriously. Please let me know if you have bills that you would like introduced or concerns in the district that are not being addressed by government. A large part of politics is relationships. I have excellent relationships with my colleagues in our congressional delegation, the legislature, the governor, the mayor, state and county department heads, and their staffers. In addition to serving the residents in my senatorial district, I'm committed to doing all I can as the chair of the Agriculture and Environment Committee. Entering my 7th year as chair, I continue to work toward expanding our ag sector and increasing food self-sufficiency. My priorities have been, and if reelected, will continue to be, increasing our local food production and decreasing the over $3 billion we spend every year importing food. Additionally, I'll continue doing all I can to help protect and preserve this amazing island paradise that we call home. So in conclusion, I'd be honored to be elected in 2022 and to continue doing my best to serve you. Please visit my website at mygabbard.com for more information. Be safe, and ke akua me ke aloha to you and your ohana. I humbly ask for your vote. Aloha and mahalo for your time.
Aloha, my name is Maile Shimabukuro. I'm the state senator for District 22, which is Kalaeloa to Kaena Point. I've been the senator here since 2011. Prior to that, I served in the State House from 2003 to 2010. I serve as chair of the Hawaiian Affairs Committee. I'm also a member of Transportation and the Ways and Means Committees. The 2022 session was epic and monumental in so many different ways. one of the big highlights is what was done for Hawaiian Affairs. And for the Office of Hawaiian Affairs, finally their Public Lands Trust Bill was passed, SB 3041, that allocated $64 million in back pay towards OHA, as well as increasing their pro rata annual payment from 15.1 to 21.5 million. Also sets a negotiating committee up. For the Hawaiian homelands, huge strides were made. $600 million was allocated through HB 2511, and it's for developing lots, but also to provide cash awards to people on the wait list. So whether it's for down payment, mortgage, or rental assistance, those awards are going to be made available. We also finally gave justice to the Kalima plaintiffs. $228 million was allocated through SB 3041. In the areas of economic development, I'm happy to say that Waianae Economic Development Council was given a grant and aid of $315,000, and Sea Rider Productions got $300,000 grant and aid as well. And then we finally made the earned income tax credit permanent and refundable, and we also raised the minimum wage to $18 an hour by 2028. In the areas of water and land, the Ōahu Moku Advisory Committee was allocated $200,000, and the Kamakai was given a grant and aid of $259,000. Agriculture and environment was also see a lot of successes. I'm proud to say I introduced SB 2865, and that allocated $40 million to DIBS Hawaii, which is owned by Keone Ford, who is a Hawaiian from Waianae, and he and his colleagues want to create a carbon capture project that takes carbon dioxide waste and scrubs it to liquefied food-grade carbon dioxide for agriculture and renewable energy purposes. Ma Organic Farm was also awarded a grant and aid, $225,000. A fish hatchery at Waianae High is a bill I introduced that got funded at $855,000. And non-equally centralized kitchen for farm to school program with the DOE was allocated $5 million. Protectors in Paradise, an excellent grant nonprofit, was given a grant and aid of $90,000 as well. For the judiciary, two bills I championed. One is to allow for garnishment of alimony-only cases, SB 2869. And the other is to establish parity for paternity cases in terms of filing fees and getting rid of the motions filing fees, SB 2663. Health and Human Services also saw some really great things happen. Adult dental was finally funded $26 million. Child care subsidies, $10 million. After school services, $6 million. Homelessness and housing, big area. Makana Okeakua, excellent program. Clean and sober homes in Waianae, Kapolei, ʻEwa, Waipahu, and elsewhere. $250,000 in grant and aid. Ohana Zone's pilot program was given $15 million. And a Safe Spaces for Homeless Youth bill was passed, $600,000 for that excellent program. For education, a whole bunch of funding for the Waianae Coast. Papahana o Kaiona, which is an alternative learning program within the DOE, was given $2 million and $118,000 for positions. Nanakuli High baseball field improvements, $1.5 million. Nani Kapono, $1 million. Maile L, $550,000. Nanakuli L, $237,000. Waianae High School, finally the rubberized track, $4 million. And finally for transportation, we finally got funding again for the 5th lane, parallel route, sidewalk improvements, $31 million. So for more information about me and my campaign, you can email me at maileshimabukuro@yahoo.com, maileshimabukuro@yahoo.com, or go to my website, electmaile.com. Thank you so much for watching, and look forward to talking with you soon.
Aloha, I'm State Representative Matt LoPresti, and I've served the Ewa Beach community since 2014, and we just finished wrapping up our 3rd term in office. In my 1st term in office, I went door to door promising to get AC in the schools, because the classrooms were over 100 degrees. Students couldn't learn, teachers couldn't teach, and I made promises to get AC for our schools, and I fulfilled those promises, getting $100 million for the AC in Ewa Beach schools and statewide. My top priority in the legislature, it's always been about supporting and improving our public schools. Since 2014, I've had a short, medium, and long-term plan to address this. The short term was to get the AC in the schools. Check, did that. The second goal was to get new buildings for the growing community that I serve. And the third term, a long-term goal, was to get a new high school, because Campbell High School is the largest in the state, and it's way overcrowded. My second term in office, we did get that new building for Campbell High School, a state-of-the-art 21st century science and technology building. We also got new buildings for Campbell and other schools in the district. My latest term, I was part of the legislature that got $355 million for a brand new high school in 96706. So that's $1/3 billion I was able to bring home for Ewa Beach in one term. That's a lot, but there's more to be done. My roots are from hardworking middle-class families, just like yours. Both my grandparents were farmers and small business owners. My mom was a school teacher and a Democrat. My dad was a veteran, an engineer, and a Republican. Though they held different political views, they were both very active in our church, where I learned strong values that still stick with me today. Values like love your neighbor and care for the least fortunate among us. These kinds of principles have set me up for life in public service, to serve the community. And the example set by my parents, both of whom died this past year, they instilled in me a greater concern for the public good than partisanship. As a leader, I've strived to make decisions based on the integrity of ideas, not the political party that's pushing them. And that's made me stand out at times from my colleagues in politics, because I'm not afraid to tell things like it is. My wife, Julia, comes from hardworking stock as well. She's fourth-generation Filipino-American here in Hawaii. Her grandparents were plantation workers, and they sacrificed everything that they knew back at home for a shot at a better life here in Hawaii. Working families then and working families now still struggle, and that's why I continue to fight for local families to ensure that they have a fair shot at a good life on behalf of all the hard work and sacrifices that they made. I mentioned my dad was a veteran. My father-in-law is a vet, my uncles, my wife's uncles, we come from families of veterans. Hawaii is the second highest per capita population of veterans in the country. That's why I was proud to serve as the chair of the Committee on Veterans and International Affairs in the legislature, where I championed legislation that introduced Hawaii's first biennial Veterans Day, so that veterans groups can come together for job opportunities, learn about benefits, and share camaraderie. I've also fought hard to protect veterans from unscrupulous businesses that target them for the funds that they've earned. For example, some universities targeted veterans for their GI benefits, and then they go out of business but charge the vets anyways, or give them degrees that aren't worth the paper they're printed on. We have to hold these businesses accountable when they go after our vets who serve this country. Certain issues for Ewa Beach: we needed a new police station for the west side. The police station in Kapolei covers everything from Ewa Beach to Kahaluʻu Point, and it's too large of a district. That's why I'm proud to have introduced and passed a resolution this year to get a new police station so that Kapolei and Ewa have our own station. And we need new beat cops. We need more beat cops on the roads to help protect us and keep us safe. We need major traffic improvements too. While a lot's been done in my three terms in office, we still need to expand Fort Weaver Road to 3 lanes south of Geiger, where the bottlenecks happen every day. We need DOT to re-explore the contraflow lane idea along Fort Weaver Road in the morning and evenings. I pushed for new stoplights, got new crosswalks, raised crosswalks. We've done a lot, but there's more to do. We also need stronger ethics and good government laws to help restore public trust in government. In 3 terms in office, I've always pushed for this. In fact, I've helped to introduce or co-sponsor 75 ethics and good government bills. I've pushed for greater accountability from lobbyists, term limits, things like that. But there's more to do, and that's why I need your vote, so that I can continue to work hard for our families and our community. Please vote for me, Matt LoPresti. Aloha.
Aloha, I'm Tiana Wilbur, running to be your next State House of Representative for District 45. I currently serve on the Waianae Neighborhood Board as the Vice Chair, as well as the Hawaiian Affairs and Education Committees. Serving our community has been an absolute honor, and I look forward to many and all collaborations together moving forward to improve and catapult our community to new levels. I also participate in ministry and Moms for Liberty. My heart is always to help those around me, and it has been disheartening to see our local families and loved ones moving from our beautiful West Coast, to hear and witness the regression of our values, most importantly our aloha spirit, due to the outside influences. So how do we make positive changes? Let me tell you, by working together in unison and bringing back and enforcing to its fullest the Aloha Spirit Law. Hawaii is the hope for the rest of the world. We are taking back 96792 for the best interest of our community, ensuring the safety and the well-being of our people. I will diligently work together with our community moving forward on all current issues so that we are all aware on our housing, transportation, education, and all measures that come across my desk. I will not vote for things that will take away our God-given parental and political rights. For example, House Bill 2125 and House Bill 1697. We need trust and transparency, and I would love to be that missing link for our moku. Mahalo to all that voted and will vote come November 8th, 2022. Let's not just make a change, let's be the change. Get out and vote. You know, the biggest thing for us is to register and vote. Like, that'll be the biggest part of making this change, making this stand, is to please register. You can register online at Office of Elections Hawaii, and there's a prompt to online registration. And it is so vital that our community shows up and votes, or we will all be forced out of our aina. So let's stand together. Why not? Let's be the powerhouse that we can be. We need to realize and remember that all political power rests with the people. And if we as a people was to stand and vote, we would move mountains. We are stronger together. If we would make this stand, our community can prosper and live healthier and less stressful lives. You know, there's so many organizations put in place for our benefit, yet we have no knowledge on how to tap into these benefits. So let's be a participant. Let's be involved. Let's get involved. Tiana Wilbur, State House of Representative for District 45. Aloha and God bless you. Mahalo.
Aloha, friends and neighbors. I'm Senator Michelle Kidani, currently representing Senate District 18. This district includes Lower Mililani, Waipio Gentry, Crestview, Waikele, Royal Kunia, Village Park, and a portion of Waipahu. I have lived in Mililani for almost 50 years, raising my 4 children and now grandchildren in this community. I was a previous member of the Mililani Neighborhood Board and am Vice President of the Mililani Town Association, serving for over 20 years. It has been my great privilege serving this district as your state senator for the past 14 years. Our community has been through many ups and downs, none more notable than this past pandemic. However, I am proud to have served this community throughout all of this as the Vice President of the Senate, the Chair of the Senate Education Committee, and a member of the Special Senate COVID Committee. During my time as your state senator, my most important goal has been to ensure our Central Oʻahu communities receive its fair share of state resources important to our Central Oʻahu communities. This includes construction projects such as new classroom buildings on our school campuses, state highways and freeways, and important economic projects such as securing agricultural lands for future use. Some projects I am particularly proud of are the new science building at Waipahu High School, the new girls' athletic facilities at Mililani and Waipahu High Schools, and expanded cafeterias at Waikele and Kanoilani Elementary, and of course a new building at Mililani Middle School. As the Senate Education Chair for the past 6 years, I am also pleased to have delivered education policy reforms, especially in the areas of school funding. I have overseen consistent increases in direct school funding initiatives, support programs for our most vulnerable students, the expansion of programs like early college at high schools, and workforce training opportunities for our high school students. I believe that our public education system is built on a foundation of a well-educated and staffed educator workforce. To that end, I am proud to have helped start and fund the Grow Our Own Teacher program. This tuition-free program has graduated over 100 new teachers, many of whom were long-term substitute teachers, educational assistants, and others with a commitment to teaching in our public schools. In addition, I am proud that our legislature was able to fully fund the teacher differentials this past session and adjust teacher salary rates to make up for decades of lost wages due to recession-based flat contracts that resulted in many of our veteran teachers leaving the profession. As the Vice President of the Senate, I am very pleased that we passed many important reforms focused on our working families. One effort is our tax rebate program, which has put hundreds of dollars back into taxpayers' hands during these very, very difficult economic times. Another important initiative is making the Earned Income Tax Credit permanent and fully refundable. The Earned Income Tax Credit is one of the most well-researched and proven ways to address economic instability and poverty among our working families. Making this credit permanent and fully refundable will provide significant economic relief for generations to come. I am proud of the work that we have accomplished during my tenure as your state senator. Only with your support am I able to continue addressing the needs of our communities through a focused approach on creating jobs for our residents and affordable housing in our communities. I am excited at the opportunities in front of us and for our years of support. I very humbly ask for your vote to continue representing Senate District 18. Mahalo nui loa and a heartfelt aloha.
Aloha, I'm Mary Smart, running for State Senate District 18 in Central Oʻahu. I want to thank everyone who voted for me in the primary. I appreciate your confidence in me. If you didn't vote in the primary or you voted for another candidate, I'm asking all voters who want improved conditions in our state to vote for Mary Smart in the general election. We need fresh ideas and open debate in the legislature. My military career, serving as commanding officer of a naval base, and other senior executive positions requiring outstanding leadership, fiscal accountability, and successful project management prepared me for the Senate. Having served my country at home, in the nation's capital, and abroad, I chose Hawaii as my home because of the aloha spirit, the beauty of the state, and its peace and tranquility. As years passed, Hawaii changed. Not upward, instead on a downward spiral. I submitted testimony for and against bills heard in the legislature and City Hall. Even with overwhelming community dissent, the legislature passed measures endorsed by unelected international organizations that were not in the best interest of Hawaii residents. Lingering problems such as high cost of living, especially housing, and homelessness never get solved. Taxes and fees only get increased. Constitutionally protected rights are under siege by the woke, censor, and cancel cultures. With the abuse of power during COVID and several elected officials caught violating their own mandates and indictments for financial corruption, faith in government and elected officials is at an all-time low. Although the incumbent senator has a reputation for being an advocate for education and chairs the Senate Education Committee, under her stewardship, schools were closed, children were masked, and test scores fell. Less and less time is spent on academics, having been replaced by controversial, highly sexualized, and psychologically invasive programs. Early in her tenure, the incumbent began weakening the school curricula by introducing SB 777, which mandated comprehensive sexuality education in schools. As a result, our children are exposed to inappropriate sexual and pornographic materials in the classroom. Research shows early exposure to pornography is detrimental to a child's mental health. More recently, social-emotional learning has been added to school programs. It is a psychologically invasive process that collects and stores data on each student. Education is the key to success, but with the obsession for non-academic and historically revised topics, less and less time is spent on the fundamentals of reading, writing, and math. We need more parental control of the education curricula and programs. The state graduates too many students who are unprepared for advanced degree or a high-paying employment. With all the funds that are paid into education programs, this is not an acceptable outcome. During the pandemic, I expected Hawaii legislators to push back against government tyranny, but they did nothing to stop the extended lockdowns, the forced injections, mandated testing, the firing of individuals who did not take the experimental vaccine, travel restrictions, and the closing of our small businesses, churches, and schools. We must move away from the one-party blockade of our road to prosperity. That means voting smart this election period. Vote for Mary Smart and others on the Republican ticket. It will take all our efforts to overcome the stagnation we have experienced with 60 years of one-party rule. I will represent all of us who believe that government works for the people. In that servant role, government shouldn't use taxpayers as an unlimited source of funds. We need to keep corrupt corporate funds out of politics. Government should cut waste and not overspend. Putting me in office will ensure you have a vigilant guard in place, protecting your freedom and your property. Please vote smart in the general election. Vote for Mary Smart. Go to votesmarthawaii.com for more information. Mahalo.
Aloha, my name is John Miller, and I'm running for State House in District 46. That's portions of Waipio, Wahiwa, Whitmore Village, Wailua, and Mokele. I moved to Wahiwa 11 years ago to be the pastor of the Church of the Nazarene. I was brought to the state because I have extensive experience in dealing with people with drug and alcohol addiction and domestic violence. I have 2 children that's graduated from Leiloha High School and a third that's there now. We chose to move to Hawaii because we thought it would be a great place to live. I'm so sad to see so many people have to leave the state because of high taxes, high real estate prices. So I want to help bring those down so people don't have to lose their children moving off the island. I have a master's degree in ministry, and I've been a pastor for 25 years. And I said previously, I've spent 11 years of that working in Wahiwa. I have been able to see all the people on the streets that are homeless and have other issues, and I've noticed that a lot of it was because of some of the laws and legislation that was in place. So I thought to myself, I'm going to run for office and try to change some of these laws so we'll have less people on the streets struggling. 2 of my main platforms is, one is parents' rights. I want to make sure that the parents have the right to go to all school board meetings, to be involved in their children's public education. And my other platform is law and order. This recent legislature, they had passed a bill that was going to do away with bail for certain crimes. When all the mayors, prosecuting attorney, and everyone was against it, they finally went to Governor Iga and he canceled it. I want to make sure that bill does not come back up because I think everyone needs to be safe and secure. I'm all about helping people who have broken laws, but my first major concern is to help the victims. So what I'm trying to do is be a legislature with common sense. A lot of people have called me the no-nonsense candidate. So if you would like to do away with some of the nonsense in the legislature, I'd like for you to vote for me.
Hi, my name is Wendell Elento, and I'm running for the office of House Representative for District 48. I'm a father, a grandfather, and I'm looking around in Hawaii, on Oʻahu and in Kaneohe. And it's not a very bright, very happy place, especially talking to young folks. If they're in their 20s, if they're close to 30, and even 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds, the whole community. And they resonate with these words. They're worried about their future, and there's a concern. And I met these folks. I would walk down these roads like Loli'i, Hi'ipoi, and just wonderful families. And where my friend, he's running for office, it took him 45 minutes to go through one street. It took me 7 hours. I had to come back on 3 separate days, portions of the day, just to cover this one street. And the reason why it took so long is that 1 out of every 5 homes had someone there sharing their heart, their concern of that very item. The homes in that area average $1.3 million valuation. It was known as the affordable housing back about 25 years ago, 30 years ago. That was affordable housing, you know, and so 1.3 million, that's what's on sale for those homes. They sit on 4,000 square feet of land. And you know, they're nice homes, but the mortgage for that home, those homes there, is $5,000 to $6,000 a month. You know, how can we go to our kids and say, hey, go ahead and buy your own home? You know, it's such a monumental task, and it's so, you know, defeating as far as, oh my gosh, how am I going to do it? And that's what we face. So what can we do, Hawaii? What can we do, Oʻahu? What can we do, Kaneohe? And this is where we have politicians, Democrats, Republicans. I'm a Republican, but I'm just really unhappy with the whole bunch. Why? Because they're not really about the people. They're about the party. And we got to be about caring for the people. Kaneohe, the folks, our neighbors, our friends, the people who live on our streets. This is the people. And I don't know, I'm not sure if they even hear their voices and see their dreams and their hopes, and it's resting on their children, you know, but it hurts them to talk about, oh gosh, I'm not sure what my kids are gonna do. And I'm with them because I'm a dad, I'm a grandfather, I feel with you. And so my hope is that, and without really your participation. So I'm running so that people can participate. I'm running that you can have a dream, but we have to all be educated on some very basic things, that we do have the power. Government doesn't exist by itself. They are elected officials. They work for the people. You know, we the people give them consent. So we have to change. I just recently come upon these truths, yeah? I started to read the Constitution. I started to read the Declaration of Independence. And the wording there says and describes a different type of Hawaii, a different kind of America. And it says that you would have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And what would that look like? Well, it doesn't look like Hawaii, right? Because it's not a very happy place. A lot of people are just under it. And so the types of solutions we want to bring is, can we, very basic thing, lower taxes? That's the best way to give everybody a raise. And if we can commit to that, it's not going to be easy because we have to convince people that are so good at spending our money that they should look at our situation and say, how can we cut back like everybody else? Do better with less. And that's my goal. We have to communicate that. We have to live that out. Government can't be constantly, of the 2,000 bills presented before the legislature, about 100 got through. And most of those bills have to do with spending more money, more programs, more hiring. You know, we have to say, time out. And just this one thing, all of us say, can we just take a step back and work on this together? I'm running because we need a voice from the people to be involved in government, you know, and when those times when the government says we're not going to listen, that's where I come in, because I want to make sure we're a bridge, yeah, that we can communicate. And that's why I'm running for office. Wendell Elento, District 48, House of Reps. Thank you very much.
Aloha, my name is Rachele Lamosao, and I'm running for State House District 36, which encompasses Waipahu, As a daughter of Filipino immigrants, at a very young age, I learned the meaning of hard work, grit, and perseverance. My parents worked tirelessly and sometimes worked multiple jobs to provide a future for our family. Today, I carry the same values. As a single parent, I struggle to provide for my family. Change must happen, so working families like mine can focus on raising their families, especially their keiki. That is why I will prioritize increasing the supply of affordable housing and working to provide additional tax relief for working families to have additional income for basic necessities. As a single mother, I also want to pass paid family leave because it will allow many parents like me not to be in an unfortunate position of choosing to spend time with their keiki or to go to work to make ends meet. My name is Rachele Lamosao. Please support me as your next Waipahu State Representative. Mahalo, and remember, a vote for me is a vote for working families.
Aloha, my name is Veamoniti Lautaha. My wife Vika and I are humble parents of our son, Vermont, and concerned residents of District 36, Waipahu. I come to you today and humbly ask you to serve as your next representative for State House District 36. As a representative, I vow to fight tirelessly to improve the quality of our lives, our families, and our community. I was born and raised in the Kingdom of Tonga, the only remaining monarchy in the South Pacific. I am the youngest child of my parents' 8 children. We are members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. My parents were public school teachers, but never had a chance to go to college. Coming to America was a dream almost impossible for many, including my family. In the 60s, my uncle, Veamoniti Lautaha Sr., came to study at the Church College of Hawaii in Laie. In the 70s, my father and 3 of my elder siblings came to Hawaii to pursue a better way of life. Through faith in God, hard work, perseverance, and good citizenship, 2 of my siblings completed their graduate studies and subsequently found employment in both government and private sector. 24 years later, it was my turn. I landed at the Honolulu airport, accompanied by my father to pursue higher education. I graduated in 2005 with a bachelor's degree in biology. In 2012, I graduated with a master's degree in information system management. Last fall of 2021, I graduated, earning a PhD in information technology with a focus in information security and assurance. Through this great country, God has blessed and improved the circumstances of my family with many blessings to share with you. This great country gave me opportunities to complete higher education, start a family with my wife, obtain U.S. citizenship, secure employment with the Hawaii Department of Education, and become a small business owner, living the American dream. I'm running for this office because the United States of America has made a difference in my own life. I stand for family and faith because mom and dad, mothers and fathers need quality time at home with their children. We need a balance of time between employment and family. We don't live here in the state of Hawaii just to work for money and neglect the sacred responsibility God has given us for our children, families, and community. I stand for education because our future relies on what we learn, both secular and religious. In the context of public school education, all school infrastructures must be improved, reconstructed, and reconfigured, such as the drop-off and pick-up locations to accommodate the growing numbers of our students and give peace of mind to our parents. Likewise, teachers are to be paid sufficiently so they can focus on teaching our children. Remember, this is the islands of Hawaii. Therefore, we must incorporate the teaching of the Ahupua'a and the Hokulea as part of our state emergency preparedness program. I stand for agriculture because the state of Hawaii is isolated from the mainland, where the commercial food supplies are coming from, to our faraway islands of Hawaii. Having access to local agricultural land means empowering residents, supporting families, and protecting our residents. In times of inflation and political instability, we need to grow more food locally, sufficient to care for 1.4 million residents or more here in Hawaii. We need to educate the residents of Hawaii on how to grow, prepare, and cook food locally belongs in the state of Hawaii. When elected, I will use what I have been blessed with from this great nation in the past 20 years to improve the quality of our lives, our families, and our community, to contribute back to our country. I humbly ask for your support and vote. I am Veamoniti Lautaha, and I approved this message.
Aloha, friends and neighbors. My name is Rose Martinez, a State House District 40 candidate that encompasses Ewa Beach, Iroquois Point, and West Loch Fairways. I believe my years in the community and experience as a clinical laboratory scientist, public health professional, elementary and high school teacher, legislative analyst, and a Medicare Advantage consultant had given me the right perspective on issues that matters the most to our community members. During the pandemic, Ewa Beach families have had to endure hardships and sacrifices like never before. Now more than ever, our district needs a representative in the government that will fight for the resources we need to take care of our families, find ways to make government more efficient and available, and help guide our community and the state out of this economic turmoil. I have lived and worked in Ewa for over 30 years as a healthcare professional, educator to our kids, and as a small business owner. I know so many of our families struggle to make ends meet. It wasn't so long ago that our children would play in the falling ashes coming from the burning of the sugarcane fields nearby. Now, Ewa Beach is one of the fastest growing communities in Oʻahu. I will support the many ongoing constructions and developments that contributes in the progress of our community. I will support future building of infrastructure to make Leeward Side a progressive district. As a long-term strategy, I support investing in diversified economic portfolio for the state of Hawaii. We can look into aerospace, agricultural science, arts and entertainment, and also supporting STEM programs that will help train the next generation of Hawaii scientists and mathematicians. I support workforce housing programs, incentives for affordable housing units, and ensuring that big developers are not abusing any loopholes that circumvent laws that require them to provide affordable units. We must also continue to get more houseless individuals the social, the medical services they need to get off the streets. Another issue that is ongoing in our district is the contamination of our water. Clean water is vital for life, and our supply source has been contaminated. I will make sure to stay on top of this breach of trust and get our community the answers it deserves. My experience and vision of a progressive community and the state has earned the trust of endorsement of groups like Hawaii State Teachers Association of Hawaii, Hawaii Board of Realtors, the ILWU International, and IBEW 1260. Together, we can find solutions and act on big ideas to make change for our community, so our children and their children will thrive and succeed in this community that we love so much. I humbly ask for your vote this November to get to work for you and your families as your state representative. Mahalo and aloha.